Hey, good morning. This is the channel Agronomy Blitz, which is accelerated insights for your agronomic advantage here for the week of April 29th. My name is Tyler Brugdenhill. I'm a technical agronomist in South Central Nebraska. Well, here to get started, let's take another look at our bare soil temperature. And I was considering putting this in or not this week. We're really getting to the point where I think enough of the crop has gone in the ground and soil temperatures have started to stabilize considerably. And big topic throughout the month of April, obviously, as we start to think about putting those first seeds in the ground for the season. But I think we start to really stabilize this just based on the future forecast. So as you can see in the Platte Valley, hugging the I-80 corridor, lots of mid to upper 50 soil temperatures. If you get into the north or into the panhandle, you'll see some temperatures still in the 40s. But I would say a lot of planters rolling in the state of Nebraska this week. So similarly, I have in the past done an emergence risk calculation. Want to start to look at growing degree day accumulation really. So simulated is if we put seed in the ground or planted corn on the 10th of April, which would have been the insurance date in Nebraska, um, what does that accumulated growing degree day look like throughout the state? And keep in mind about 120 GDUs to get to emergence. So all of this should be up and going no matter really where you are, unless you're in the extreme cases in the panhandle, which haven't quite got to 120 GDU accumulation. Now, as we go into the crop progress report, I found this to be really interesting. So April 27th of last year, we were at 20% planted. Last week, as a state, we were at 8% planted, and then April 27th report showed we were 21% planted. Now, that puts us right on the 5-year average pace of being right at 20%. I would have actually anticipated this would have been a higher number. It feels like a lot of people started early and have kept going. So, might just be a little bit of the South Central Nebraska piece playing into this figure, but feels to me like it should be higher than 20%. When you get into the soybean planted acres, last year, April 27th to 24, 9% planted. Last week we were at 2%, and then this week showing 13%. And that does put us a little bit ahead of the 5-year average of 10%. Now, the big agronomic topic that I wanted to talk about this week was really looking at field stand evaluations. And I know many people that watch this are likely doing stand counts, looking at things that way. One of the things that I think we maybe don't focus on enough or nearly enough is uh, intra-row spacing. So I did my undergraduate studies at South Dakota State University, and they had a lot of different things looking at intra-row spacing and going off of what is that consistency of your spacing in the row, not only looking at plant population. So I actually derived a Excel tool where you can plug in row width, what you dropped for a planting population, do measurements on plants, essentially just measuring the space between the plants. This can be between 20 plants, 100 plants, 500 plants, however much time you really want to spend in doing this, but gives you a good idea of, hey, what's your average spacing, what standard deviation based off of that. And again, their research in this study suggested that a standard deviation at or below 2 inches is really, really good. If you deviate above 2 inches of standard deviation, there's some potential for yield loss there. So if this is something that interests you and you see this, obviously reach out to me in some way, shape, or form. But one thing that as the corn starts to emerge, as we're looking at things like, hey, what is my final stand population? Be evaluating that planter pass. It's the most important pass that we have across that field, and we only get one chance to do it right. So make sure we're evaluating that, and it's a good time to really think about, hey, am I still on track for what my yield expectation was before I made that pass? Or do I need to recalibrate and maybe start to think about, hey, with what this is telling me in my spacing, um, do I need to go above or maybe below my expectations of what that perceived yield we were shooting for was. So another great piece to that, excuse me, another great piece to that is this climate field view map. If you've got planting data in there, it will look at skips, multiples, or good spacing. So what does that singulation look like? Gives you a really good indicator of, hey, based on what I'm seeing in this map, and then if I can come and have my agronomist or my seed pro do these intra-row spacing calculations, what am I actually looking at? Did my planter do the job that I expected it to? Was I going too fast? Did I have some sidewall compaction? Any of those things. So planter pass is the pass we is the most important pass, but the one we also need to be the most critical of when we're evaluating it. So with that, appreciate your guys' time. I hope you find some value in these. I certainly enjoy doing them. Like I said, if you're interested in that tool, reach out to me at my email, tyler.brigdenhill@bayer.com. If nothing else, be safe, be aware of your surroundings. I know it's still very, very busy in the field. Make sure we're coming home to those we love at the end of the day. Thank you for your business. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.